Tonight on the Big D and J Rowdy Show, I get half of what I was expecting. Rowdy uses his sales training in a bar, and we talk about serious horsepower.
Yeah, it's Monday night again.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
I think the last 2 times it's been Monday night.
Most of our episodes have been on a Monday.
Which means I get to listen to everybody on Tuesday tell me about how I cough too much or went into too much detail or our phone's going off.
Right. Phone's on silent this time.
Right, and apologize for that. I can't apologize for coughing because it just sneaks up on me. But all right, so
what have we been up to?
I mean, after your birthday party, my life just kind of sucked.
Oh. Got a lot less interesting, was it?
Yeah, because that was something, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So, but I've just been doing stuff with the car, getting it ready to be put up for this season.
Yeah.
Well, most people will wash and wax their shit when they first get it out.
Yeah.
Not me. I clay bar it, wash it, wax it, store it, and then when I get it out, it's ready to go. Is the theory.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put too much into it because who knows? I got to tow it to the end of another state. I'm going all the way down almost to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be March or April weather.
Right.
So I'm not really looking too forward to that.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to come back and spend probably a good week and a half cleaning all the road shit off it from nasty roads.
Maybe if you ask really nice, borrow an enclosed trailer.
Yeah. That'd be nice. I don't know if I can ask nice enough because that's a lot of
I know
that's a lot of stuff to be loaning somebody.
That's a big ask, but
maybe plug his shop on the show if I ask him.
Yeah. Well, we normally wouldn't mention it, but my birthday party a couple weeks ago, we got we did what people do at a bar.
Yeah, well,
and
we have to mention it because we told people that we were thinking about possibly GoProing it, which didn't happen because
no.
Actually, for people that know me, and you can probably attest to it, my batteries are always dying. Phone dies, GoPro battery dies. Yeah. The damn battery in the charger dies all the time.
Yeah.
So the GoPro battery died, and I just didn't charge it. So we couldn't GoPro it.
But the highlight was you using your sales training to sell my wife on the idea of buying nitrous.
Well, before we go any further, let me just ask, we're keeping the nitrous. It's not going back ever, right?
No, it's
okay.
It's fine.
So what happened was a little bit of tomfoolery and trickery happened here because you left and she came back, and I was like, hey, when he comes back, just pretend like you agreed to get the nitrous. And she did. And she had definitely been doing what people do at bars also.
Yeah.
And I think she convinced herself after that she was ready for nitrous. So between that and the Smirnoff ices that she had and then the Long Island iced teas that you had, I really didn't need any of my selling skills.
Didn't need much help. Yeah. I had a gigantic headache the next day.
I felt all right, and which is weird because I'm mixed and I'm old.
Yeah.
I had people, the waitress, was it, what do you want to drink? And I said, PBR? And I don't think we have that. We're in Clio. You have to have PBR. Right. So she brought it back. So I was drinking PBR all night, 5 of those, and I wasn't getting buzzed at all. So I switched to Long Island's. I had 2 of those.
Yeah.
And wasn't even buzzed up. My face wasn't even numb. We were about ready to throw down with on the punching bag guy. So I might have been a little tipsy.
I told that story at work. I said, I'm not going to tell you that we almost got in a fight because that would be an exaggeration. But I will say that at one point I wasn't for sure that we weren't going to fight somebody.
Yeah. Good thing is, though, if we did fight with him, we knew that the punch was coming because he would bounce around like I don't even know the best way to describe it. My nephew had I think it was Tickle Me Elmo or an Elmo doll, and you pushed it, and maybe it was Tigger because he said, "I'm gonna bounce," and he freaking just bounced around. And that's what this guy did before he hit the punching bag machine. I don't know. It's like, what's the name of it? Knockout or something like that, where you hit a punching bag and it gives you a score based on how hard you hit it.
Right.
So this guy ran all the way across the bar, it felt like.
Yeah.
Bounced around like that little toy. Psyched himself up. Pulled his britches up because they were falling off, even though he had a belt on.
Yeah.
And went running as fast as he could across the bar and flying punched this thing.
Yeah.
I think he got like a 780.
Yeah. He thought it was pretty badass.
Yeah. And the girls thought it was badass. Not the girls with us, the girls that were with them.
Yeah.
The girls that were with us is the reason why we probably were going to maybe possibly get in a fight, because this guy didn't pay attention to where our table was at.
Right. And of course, they were right
close
behind him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then the country boy walks up. He doesn't move at all.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he hit harder than the kid that ran across the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
The country boy just stood there and punched it. Like, I didn't even think he was getting ready to punch it because he didn't turn or anything. He just hit it.
Yeah.
And then that's when the bouncing and running really started.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good time. And of course, next day, started ordering car parts.
Yep.
I got permission.
Which was, well, I put it on your Facebook page just so she couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
So we had that going for us.
Yeah. And so I've been starting to get those parts piling in. And what's funny was I ordered some spacers for my truck, wheel spacers. And I thought I was getting this amazing deal on a set of 4. And when we got there was only 2 of them. I was like, oh, well, I didn't get an amazing deal. I just paid a so-so price on 2 of them. So that's how I got half of what I was expecting.
Those billet spacers are, they're not cheap though.
No.
Because before I did my slight negative offset on my truck wheels, I was going to just push out my factory ones. And yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Because once you go so thick, it's not just a spacer. You have to put lugs on it and hold that one on.
Yeah.
And then put your
tire these were 2 inches. So, yeah. So got the other ones coming. It'll be all right. But
so after the what was it, like 6 years of telling you should do nitrous, and you finally did it.
Yeah.
We might not want to divulge all the nitrous information.
Right.
But are we going to window switch, progressive, just whack it with the 250 shot that we talked about?
250. I don't think it'll be a 250, but I've been doing some more reading, and I think I want to do the progressive controller so we can turn it up and down.
Yeah.
And see where that goes. And I got some more other little accessories I want to get. Maybe upgrade to a dual bottle setup.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Bottle pressure gauge.
3 purge kits. 3 purge kits so we can act like we have 3 kits.
Right, yeah. Well, remember, we're going to purge it through the motor.
Oh my gosh. This is what happened after so many drinks.
Yeah, we're going to purge it through the motor, and then we're going to purge it through the purge kit anyways.
Right, and still bump in.
Yeah, we're going to bump in with nitrous.
That was man, we come up with some shit that night.
Hey, it sounded cool at the time.
Well, I say do a nitrous burnout, then rev it up like 3 or 4 times to purge it, and then you have to purge it so everybody thinks that you vape.
Right.
And then you have to you can't just purge it once. You have to purge it a couple times when you push the button, and then make a cool little Morse code looking thing.
Yeah. What's that? The machine gun.
No, that
purge kit.
That's very Ricer-ish, but it is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so with the little light, and it lights up the plume, and then it sounds like a gun. I kind of just want to get that kit and run CO2 through it so I can hit the button.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, I'm pretty excited, though. I mean, the car should be ungodly more faster next year.
Right. We don't want to say ungodly fast because we don't know how it's going to act with the rest of the stuff that we have. But I'm telling you, if son of a bitch don't move out now, I say put it for sale.
Driving a ditch and light on fire. Yeah.
Because with the power adder, I bolted on with the blower. I put on about 150 to 170 wheel horsepower.
Right.
I think Zax talks about their kits with crank horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Nitrous Express does.
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere that it's rear.
Okay. So
if you do the 325 that we talked about earlier,
it keeps going up.
It should be pretty quick, in theory.
Yeah, we're not going that high. I don't want to say necessarily
like a 300
what shot we're gonna do, but I think with what I have planned, it should be plenty quick. I will say that my goal next year is if it don't run 1249 or better on motor, I'll be extremely upset.
Well, with my cam, when I didn't have a power adder, I went, I can't remember, 1250, somewhere in there. Zach went 1230s.
Yeah. That was on an extremely cold day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the weather lined up pretty good for that. And then we pulled his
interior stuff out. Yeah.
Damn it.
But if we break the 1250 mark on motor, I'll be happy. And then, on nitrous, we'll see what happens. But do plenty of bracket racing. That's 1250 range.
Right. We need bracket race a 16-second car.
Well, I mean,
but
I guess what we'll do, we'll bracket race it on motor and grudge race it on nitrous.
Which isn't a bad idea.
No.
So then you can keep your times separate.
Right.
You gonna do the NT sticker?
I got it coming. I don't know if I'll end up putting it on.
I think I was kind of thinking about doing that, and since I plan on doing a couple more modern street Hemi shootouts next year,
right?
Having that number from the street Hemi shootout put on there,
right?
I really hope I don't get stuck with 600. I just don't like that number. That's the number that I had to run at the Hemi Insanity because I wasn't on the roster yet.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see what happens. I gotta PM that guy and figure that out. But I plan on making it to 3 or 4 next year.
Yeah.
Because I have to. Now I don't have to make it to modern street Hemi shootout events per se. I don't even have to make it to X amount of events.
Right.
But I do have to put forth effort.
Right.
So
yeah.
And those guys are pretty cool. And I'll be running in the pro class with any luck.
Right.
And which is actually a step above the modified class.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking a little forward to that because there isn't as many cars in the pro class as there is in the modified class.
Right.
So I don't have to beat that many people, which means I can't lose that many times either.
You know who else runs in the pro class?
I don't know who that is.
Our good friend, Mr. Bundy.
He's not Super Pro?
Uh-huh.
Well, he better get on it.
So we'll see, huh?
Yeah. He's got to be closer to the pro class index cutout than, or closer to the Super Pro index.
His car is capable of hanging with those guys, but
what is the Super Pro index cap?
I didn't know if it had one. I thought it was just anything over.
Okay, so what's the pro cap then?
950.
So you can't be any quicker than 950.
Right. So
the pro go between 950 and modified, which is 1050. So 950 and 1049.99.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be stuck in the modified.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll see what we can do with maybe the street or possibly even the super stock.
Yeah.
For my car next year.
Might get the super stock. Well, if you run it on the nitrous there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So.
And the rules might change for next year anyway. I think the rules that Dan and the guys have now are good ones. Like, that pretty much puts a lot of group of cars together and keeps it competitive.
Yeah.
So
while we're talking about power adders and nitrous and your supercharger, that was kind of what we planned on talking about tonight. Yep. Obviously, you're supercharged, and I'm going nitrous. I have limited experience with turbos. I've had a turbo car before, and my truck's turbocharged, obviously being a Cummins.
But I have zero experience with turbo cars, other than losing to them.
Right.
I don't know that I'm jumping on the bandwagon for my platform yet.
Yeah.
The turbo bandwagon as a whole, I'm all about it. Like, if I didn't have a Charger, if I had a F-body or a Fox, it'd be a turbo.
Anything LS based for sure.
Main reason I'm not jumping on it because it's really new for the Gen 3 Hemi cars.
Right.
And there's just no good spot to put them.
Right.
Without a whole lot of fabrication.
Well, there's...
Like, Greg's is right up front.
Right.
And to me, it seems like that might be starving for air because the bumper's right there. There's no inlet. He didn't cut a hole in it. But I'm not a turbo guy. I don't know.
Yeah. Harrison and those Stage 6 guys took care of them for that.
Yeah, they know. They
obviously
know what they're doing.
Right.
They have crazy fast stuff. They work on everything there too, man.
Yeah.
Lamborghinis and Porsche and all kinds of
parts
stuff.
for Hondas on their website too.
Yeah, that's in the garage sale section that I've seen.
It was there, I'm saying.
It was there.
For our cars anyway, there's like the Hellion kit, which is the mid-mounted. I don't even know. Does anybody even do a rear mount anymore? Is that?
I know STS did make one.
I don't know if they're even still in business. Like, I don't hear about them.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the rear mounts. I'm not even a fan of the mid mounts because that's like low underneath the car.
Right.
I want them up somewhere. Like, I don't want to. And turbos are tough as far as the housings and stuff go.
Right.
But I mean, I went over a covert at Lapeer Dragway, a drag strip, and ripped my exhaust clamps and almost my whole exhaust off.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know that I want an expensive ass turbo chilling anywhere underneath the car.
All right. Well, I guess so. Then you'd appreciate where it's at in my truck. It's pretty much up at the top of the motor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like right there. You open the hood. So.
And Greg's is up. Harrison's is up. All the Jeep guys. If I had a Jeep, I'd Stage 6 turbo that shit. Like, I wouldn't have even messed around with all the stuff I did on the Charger.
Right.
If I'd have bought the Jeep, I would have skipped all of that and just bought the kit.
Right.
and went 9 seconds in a flipping brick.
Right.
But because that's in a nice spot. There's just no room in ours.
Right.
I mean, there's no room. There's hardly any room for my blower in there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but there's what we got. We got twin screw superchargers.
Yep.
Roots style superchargers.
Yep.
We have turbos.
Yep.
There's ball bearing and journal turbos, but
Yep.
it's still a turbo. And then we have nitrous.
Yep. You got the centrifugal.
Oh yeah, and centrifugal blowers,
Yeah.
which is the best blower. Not because I own it, but I really believe that. That's why I bought that one.
Right. Well,
So,
you know,
but I lost to a screw blower.
right.
That Reggie 8 was a screw.
Yeah. I don't know necessarily anymore, but for quite a while anyway. Maybe some of the other blower companies are catching up, but ProCharger was the blower for our car for the longest time.
And what?
It's still the fastest Gen 3, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rob Goss has a ProCharger.
Yeah.
And that's like 6 something.
Right.
Is what that Challenger goes.
Yeah.
So, granted, it's not really anywhere near a normal car.
Well,
but it's still a ProCharger on there. So I just like the fact that it's there, stage in the car. You don't really have to wait for anything to spool. You know, it's there. Now, it takes a while for my car to hit peak boost, but it starts boost at like right now.
Right.
So it doesn't like if I was roll racing, it doesn't take a while, or I don't have to brake boost to keep the turbo spooled. I can just nail it, and then I have boost.
Yeah.
With some turbo cars, they spool quick, little turbos and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of the middle ground between, say, nitrous and a turbo, where nitrous is just right now, and turbo, you wait for it to spool up.
And then another thing that why I went with the ProCharger unit over, I was going to do a Whipple, because Eddie and the guys down at Southern Hot Rod really like Whipple.
Mm-hmm.
But Gen 3 Hemis make so much torque down low already.
Right.
That traction at the time, before I knew what I was doing, was an issue already.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to throw more torque at it down low and have the same problem.
Right.
So I went with that because it takes a little bit for it to get up there and boost, but I mean, it doesn't take as long as what some people might think.
Right.
And everybody, oh, you have the worst of both worlds. You have the belt-driven lag of a supercharger, and then you have the heat of, a turbo.
Right.
And it's really not that. It's really not that bad. For the generic kit, the intercooler is good. It's not great for if you're pumping more through it.
Right.
But, I think I look at the turbo guys, I'm like, damn, they have a turbo and I can make it make cool noises.
Right.
I can bump in. And,
right. It's a spectacle staging.
Yeah. But, man, to put a turbo on a non-turbo car.
Yeah.
Oil lines and all, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And to me, the return, I'll just throw a bigger, an F-Series blower on there.
Right. It's so much easier for you to just do that, especially at this point.
And then you can just dial the boost in by the pulley instead of a boost controller. Now, what's cool about the turbo with the boost controller and the wastegate, you can pick how the boost comes on, how it, mine is always going to be about the same as far as how the boost comes in.
Yeah.
Unless I put a wastegate on it.
Right.
But I don't even do that.
Right.
So I can't tune it that good. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to try my hand at, using the progressive controller to see what works on my car and what doesn't.
Don't let me tune it, because you know what mine will be.
Yeah.
It'll be 375 right at the hit.
Yeah.
So,
but I guess we'll see. I mean, see how it works. It'd be pretty interesting. First couple of passes might be pretty terrible.
well, you just pick the ramp time, pretty much.
Right.
And I don't think it'll be. I think like the first, it'll probably take us 4 or 5 passes to get it where we want it, which isn't bad. Which means we need like 6 bottles because by the time we purge through the motor and then purge and then bump in and purge and then we'll be through that bottle.
Yeah.
That is kind of a shitty part about nitrous, though, is it's cheap up front.
Right.
I'm looking at a kit, $800 something bucks, but it's $30 or $40 a bottle.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but like supercharger, you could have $8,000 easily.
Oh yeah, easy.
So you can buy a lot of bottles for that.
Yep. And then another thing is I have my supercharger all the time. So granted, it would only be hard on the rest of my parts if I drove with my foot in it all the time.
Right.
But if you are a hot rodder and you have it there, you're going to put your foot into it.
Infinitely available. Yeah.
You can just be like, I'm not going to go batshit crazy today.
Right.
And not fill the bottle or put the bottle in.
Right. Yeah. Shut the bottle off or take it out.
I'd have to take it out.
Take it out, yeah.
I'd have to take it out because if it was just turning it off, I'd turn that bitch on.
Right.
I'd use it all the time.
But, so yeah, it'll be cool. I'm, hoping to kind of cut our teeth on this and, future plans. Kind of got bigger plans with our platform. We'll see how we do with nitrous on this one.
And then we can just pill it till we kill it on the other one.
Right.
Just cram them in there. Luckily, I know a guy that knows a little bit about nitrous and plate systems and carburetors.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we and that was one of your arguments, and I agree. We know too many people to screw this up.
So. And nitrous is not new on the Gen 3 Hemis.
No.
And that people have been spraying them things since 05 when the 300 SRTs came out.
Right.
So it's been done for a while.
Yeah.
Now I just got to convince you to go direct port. 2-stage direct port, dedicated fuel system with nav gas. Or avgas, rather.
But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of pick your poison with the power adders. I
feel like nitrous, a benefit is you control your DA.
Right.
I mean, the real DA is going to affect your car a little bit.
Right.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're spraying cold shit right into the intake.
Right.
Now, I go and run on a hot day. I'm taking hot air, compressing it, and making it more hot.
Right.
And blowing meth nozzles out the tube, so I'm not cooling it down.
Right.
So I feel like when it comes to 8th mile stuff and ease and simplicity and upfront cost, I think nitrous would be for sure.
Yeah.
Because you put a blower on your car, you need a transmission.
Right. And I think
probably should with nitrous probably should think about upgrading transmission parts.
Right.
But you don't need a full on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm gonna be looking for the blue top shift solenoids or maybe a valve body, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than brand new built trans. So.
And I really don't know too much about twin screws or roots. I just know that I like screws better than roots. They seem to, from what I've read and what I've seen on dyno charts, for instance, the Magna Charger is a root style.
Yeah.
And the Kinney Bell or the Whipple is a screw.
Yep.
And it just seems like Whipple cars and Kenny Bell cars outperform the Magna Chargers like crazy.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some Jeeps with the Magna Charger, but I can't really say I've seen many LX cars with them.
well, there's a
whatever
couple
reason.
Challengers that have the Magna Charger on there when it first came out, and then your buddy with the Mopar 11 from the him Insanity, he's got one.
Mr. Lane Choice.
Yeah, but I don't. They look super generic and like I mean it looks factory. To me, it looks like a factory part.
Right.
Even though the Hellcat blowers look ugly as sin.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why like I might be wrong, but the Mustang Cobra, I think that's a root style blower first.
Okay.
I think. Because it's a TVS or something similar.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mustang guy, but it seems like everybody switches at the moment they can. They switch to a Kenny Bell.
Right.
Same size, as far as they do those in liters.
Yeah.
So, and that's. I convinced Todd to go with the Whipple instead of a Magna Charger. Maybe I should have told him Magna Charger, and I might have beat him.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff to consider too with your power header. Like in a boosted application, you really don't want a ton of gear.
Right.
So, which is probably better that you went with nitrous because you got
a lot of gear.
Up until recently, the most gear you could put in our car.
Right. And yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, without knowing it, basically I was building the car to run either all motor or nitrous. I mean, it just would be almost counterproductive. Especially a turbo.
Yeah, way too much gear for that. I think.
Yeah.
Because with less gear, you'd stay in boost longer.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I would be definitely switching to a 306.
I've debated going from my 355 back to a 306.
Yeah.
But depending on the launch, if it spins or not, it usually shifts. If I spin a little bit, it'll shift right before the traps.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, it'll shift like a little bit past them.
Yeah.
It just depends on how the launch goes.
Right.
So.
Huh.
But now with the new setup, who knows? I might have to.
Right.
I have no idea what it's going to do.
Yeah.
That's something that Billy will figure out.
Right.
Because I don't know. Like, I was talking to him the other day talking about boost, and I'm like, dude, like, boost. I want to make boost. And I have a baby blower. I mean, I have a D1, which is a step above the P1.
Right.
And he's like, we're just going to spin it as hard as we can up to its max efficiency, and what you get, you get.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to even understand when it comes to building a boosted motor, everything that goes into it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's strap a carburetor on it. Let Jason put like a plate, and another kit on it. So.
Yeah.
He likes to put shit on the bumper. I don't. I look at him. He's like, I'll put it on the bumper. I'm like, shouldn't you keep it low and go straight, fast? I'll put it on the bumper. And he goes out there and puts it on the bumper. I'm like, but you heard shit like that. Like,
yeah. Oh.
Let's go fast and keep it low.
Oh. Dude, I'd have to have wheelie bars.
With all of the shit that happened with the Shadow wrecking and then Birdman saying that everybody should run sissy sticks, I've actually thought about what I would do. And if I had a radio car, no bars. It's dangerous. And if I had a slick car, probably still wouldn't do bars.
Oh.
No, I would probably do them on a slick car because you can actually tune suspension with them.
Yeah.
and it'll help you get down the track. But a radio car, I was reading, will climb the ring gear, and that's why it'll do a wheelie in the middle of the track. A lot of slick cars won't Willis down the track. They just Willis at the starting line.
Yeah.
So you have to think, if you're on a radio car and you start climbing the ring gear because you make too much power and it's bringing the front end up at 160, if you bounce them off the bars instead of letting out, like that's even more. Because then you can unload the tires and be in all kinds of trouble down there.
That's true. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, so I just, they say to pedal it, but shit, I don't let out. I might let out if I was in that situation, but I mean, I don't drive a fast car, so I can talk like that.
Right. Yeah. Well,
this is going to be a short episode today.
That's all right.
We don't have too much to talk about.
Well, got a couple of things coming up. Our next episode, I think we're going to do like an end of season year in review, things we did and haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what else would be a good idea? Is if these listeners participated a little bit on the Facebook page and posted not on mine or Big D's, but on the show's page, what you were doing to get ready for the end of the season. What's your ritual per se?
Yeah.
So, engage in the page, people.
Yeah.
Get on there.
Engage in the page.
Go get on there.
Hashtag.
Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Don't send it to me in a message. If you want to send it to the Big D and J Rowdy Show page in a message, fine. Nothing to me personally.
Right.
Keep it page oriented.
The Gmail account, you can always email us.
Yeah.
Do it there too. Say also in the next episode, I think we both have some people to thank.
Yeah.
That'd probably be good. Show our appreciation of the people who have helped us. And then coming up, I'd say, I'm just going to guess and say 3 episodes from now, we'll have a special guest.
Tom the turkey. 3 episodes from now is going to be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm coming over. Sob's cooking a turkey.
Yep.
I don't know if that's really what's going to happen, but we will have a special guest that week.
Yes, we will.
Because we're famous people and we're friends with famous people. And
we're friends with famous people's friends.
Well, we know a guy who knows a guy.
My best friend from middle school is friends with a guy who's a hell of a lot more famous than us.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
So we'll get that. Really can't think of a whole lot else. Anything else we need to get out there?
I usually don't like to bring it up often, but you know what? I won't. I got to. I beat Jesse. I said I was going to let it go and not really keep up on it, so I probably shouldn't say anything else other than this one last time that I beat Jesse.
Yes, you did. Okay, so it's kind of a shorter episode, but that's all right. Like our Facebook page.
Mean comments. We didn't do mean comments.
Do you have any mean comments?
Well, I got told in so many words that I coughed too much.
Yeah.
I think it was followed by "you dumb F," and then
wow.
Yeah. Well, it's usually how this guy talks. He's very sarcastic, and I know that he means it in good humor.
Right.
I've known him for a while, and we were too detailed, and then our phones.
Yeah.
And then the same guy bitched that we were late on the podcast. We didn't give him anything to listen to last week.
Oh.
He's not even. I mean, he likes cars.
Right.
He watches the same shows that we do.
Yeah.
He drives a minivan.
Okay.
It's got a bump box in it.
It's. I need to be damn thankful I'm not driving a minivan. I shouldn't laugh.
Well, dude, he's got a bump box in his minivan.
Wow.
Not really. It's really a transmission issue. But it actually, when it's happening, actually literally looks like he's bumping in. So you like when the light turns green and he goes to go, it bumps in and then goes. So.
Oh. Yeah. I can't think of any. I really don't think I got personally any mean comments.
Man, no break room, nothing?
Not really. They've been kind of leaning off of me, sort of.
Huh.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I got one where I got teased because not tonight, but last night on the way home from work, a guy takes sort of the same route that I do, and he asked me if I like pissed my pants when I passed the Mustang that I passed on 46. Did you piss your pants? You got so excited you finally passed the Mustang? Like, thanks, Todd.
One thing I do want to mention on the show, though, was a text message that you sent the other day, because that was awesome. No, we, for people that don't know us, we talk in group text almost all the time.
Yeah.
It's either me, Big D, and Zach, or me, Big D, and Saab, Big D's wife.
Yeah.
One comes through. This was to Big D. It wasn't in the group text, but
right.
Which I'm surprised it wasn't.
Right.
But so you left the house to go to work.
Yes.
Dom doesn't like it when you leave the house.
Right. My son Dominic.
Right. He wants Dad home.
Yeah.
And then Dom always thinks, in my mind, he always thinks every time somebody leaves, they're going to go do something fun, like drag race tractors in the backyard or whatever,
Yeah.
He's like, they're having fun doing car stuff and race car things without me.
Yeah.
So, hey, I can't, my phone's dead, so I can't pull it up, but how'd that go?
They got up in the morning and he asked where I was or something, and Sabrina said, well, Dada's at work. And he said, Dada not at work, Dada at Justin's. And she's like, he's at work. He says, Dada at Justin's. Justin's car broke. He fixed it. I'm like, well, which I thought was funny, but I'm
right.
Like, so I sent you a screenshot of that text, and it was you and Zach, and I said, glad your car's not broke, but I'd rather be there than here at work right now.
Right, but you guys got to know Dom is a Big D's son. Dom is super race car.
Right.
Like,
yeah, he's 2 years old, but
I mean, when he learns to run, I picture him doing burnouts when he runs.
Yeah,
that he's so happen. Race car.
Which I have a person on this earth that thinks I'm like the greatest mechanic on earth. that's him, but I hate to break it to him. I'm moderately above average and way too slow to do it for a living.
I was going to go to school to do it for a living, and then decided I didn't want to because I wanted something fun to do.
All right.
But so that was Dom's race car moment.
Yeah.
So he knows when shit's broke too. He come over to a fire one night, and the Trans Am. Those of you that haven't seen my garage, the Trans Am usually has its hood open because, well, it's not a Dodge and it's broke.
Right.
And he knows it's broke, and he calls me out on it when he's here and sees that it's broke. He points at it and says broke. So, but that was cool. I like that. I wanted to post it on the show page, but I didn't because I don't know how to scratch out numbers.
Right.
The last thing we need is Big D's wife getting strange texts from our fans.
Right. Yeah, we'll skip that part. But, so yeah, that was kind of funny. I'm glad you mentioned that. I kind of forgot about that. I guess, like I said, like our show page. Send us an email, bigdandjrowdy@gmail.com. Misconduct Racing page is my page for my car. The Bully, that's your page for your car.
Spelled Bullee.
Yep, Bullee. The Bully.
I like to spell things funny. You notice that J Rowdy spelled DIE instead of DY.
Right.
So.
Yeah, works out great for people trying to find us.
Well, there's nobody else like us.
But yeah, so it's basically wintertime now, so
shows will probably be shorter.
Yeah, shorter and probably about every 2 weeks.
Unless some crazy drunken escapades happen.
Right. We want to come on air when we have something to talk about.
Yeah, we don't want to just
completely waste your time. So that's why we're not going to be coming every week probably. So
cool. So like the page, leave a comment, talk about what you're doing to get ready for the off season.
Yep.
And you guys, the fans, for crying out loud, they talk so much to me about the show.
Right.
I say fans like we're popular. My friends that listen to the show, they're not fans. They're my friends that listen to the show.
Yeah. We have a very small core group of very loyal listeners.
Right. So instead of telling me about the show, put it on the Big D and J Rowdy page show.
Yep.
And share that bitch.
There you go.
Share your comment or post that's on the Big D and J Rowdy show.
We're telling you to leave us mean comments. We're trying to get you to post on the page.
Every time we turn around, someone's making fun of me or you, but they can't put it on the page.
Right.
Because they say so many mean things to me often that I just fucking forget about it.
Right.
So if it's on the page, I could go back and be like, hey, you know. So do that.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
I think that's it.
See ya.
See ya.